Hello guys, and welcome back on DevOps With Yannick. Today we're going to try to learn the basic concept about user interface on our Jenkins server, and we're going to introduce ourselves also on how to create our first job using a useful notion on bash scripting, variable, and so on. So let's get started. So here we have our user interface, and you can see that we have welcome to Jenkins. This page where your Jenkins jobs will be displayed to get started. So you can create on the new item on the left or on the right, and you're going to have this page. For the introduction, we're going to use our freestyle project option in order to create. You can use the create a job on the right, or you can use the new item on the left. So you're going to have the same output. Okay, so I'm just going to use back on our server first, and I'm going to run the docker ps command in order to get my docker ID, and I'm going to log in. I'm going to log inside our Docker container, our Jenkins Docker container, using the command docker exec -it. Container ID. Then I'm going to give the bash, which means I want my interface using the bash language, okay, born again shell. So once I do that, I'm now inside my server, my Jenkins server. Okay, so I'm gonna cd inside var, and when I list it, you're going to see that we have Jenkins home, and this is the directory that we copy on the previous video inside our Docker volume. It's the directory that contains everything. When I list it, you see you have exactly the same thing that we got in the previous video in our Docker volume on our server. Okay, so I just want to show you that quickly before to move forward with the new concept and so on. Okay, so let's move forward right now. So I was saying that this is our Jenkins user interface. When I'm clicking or new item on create job, it's the same output. Normally you're going to have this page that is showing up where they're going to say enter a item name. So most of the item name is the name of your project, right? So the job is a task. What we were calling a task with Ansible is a jobs here. So we're going to choose as I said before, freestyle, because it's the basic job on Jenkins, and we just started with my first job. So I click on the bottom, and you're going to have this page once we click, and on this page you can provide a description if you want. You're going to scroll down a little bit, and you can see a little bit the different options that we have here. Okay, so I'm not going to provide the description for this time. I'm just going to move on the build step section, click on add build step, and click on execute shell, and the option execute shell going to allow us to execute every command that we can execute executed inside our terminal. Okay, since we have our Jenkins server is some kind of Linux server. Okay, so I'll try with echo hello world right now, and when I click on the bottom, I have this page where I can click on build now, and you can see that we have built number 1 success. Okay, so this is our first output, and you can see on console output here, echo hello world, we got hello world running as system. Okay, and we have finished success at the end. So we just realized our first Jenkins job, executing our command line hello world, which is the first line that we should execute on all the languages that we are learning on the daily basics. So I hope that until here you understand everything about that Jenkins stuff. When I click on timings, you can see more detail about timings. Okay, everything on the left side, if you click on every button, you're going to see all the options, status and so on. Okay, so you can navigate through all of them and try to understand how all of them work. I'm going to click on Jenkins and come on my main page, and right now you can see that it's showing up different. I have my first job, the last success 1 minute 55 seconds ago, last failure no applicable, last duration 95 milliseconds. So that's a little bit it about our first task. I'm going to create a new task right now, or a new job. So this job is a job to create a file, and you remember on Linux, to create a file on my Linux bash series, we use the command touch, right? So we are using freestyle also in this example, and I'm going to provide the description. My first Jenkins file, scrolling down and add bootstrap execute shell. Since it's still a shell command, so we are using the touch command to create a file, right? And we're going to provide the path of our file, okay, where we want our file to be created. I want to create the Linux file in the path in the root home directory. So I executed it. If you click build now twice, you're going to have, every time that you're going to click build now, you're going to have a new job executed following the one that you have chose. So you can see 5 milliseconds ago, everything get executed normally. Okay, when you see the circle with the successfully in green, that means that everything was successfully. Okay, success. So I'm going to move on my server side, and you're going to see a little bit how that file is showing up. Okay, when I list, I'm going to cd inside my root directory inside my root home directory using the cd, and you can see that we have the Alma Linux file that has been created on the top over there. So it's just awesome. So right now, Linux command with Jenkins, we're going to try to explore a couple Linux command with Jenkins, and we're going to start with the date command. You remember the date command that we use in our bash script series? That command provides you the exact date on the time that you executed with the time, the date and the time exactly at the time that you are executing it. Okay, so let's do echo the current date is, and I use the $sign, and inter parentheses I drop the date command. You see that we have an output that is just awesome. It's the same with the I am, who am I. You see, we have I am root. So I talk a lot about all this concept on my bash scripting series that I will invite you to watch if you didn't see it yet, and you're gonna love it. I use the history command in order to copy that last command that I've executed, and I'm also going to do the same for the date. Echo the current date is $sign date, and we're going to build it as a job right there, build now, and you're going to see that the console output going to show up with exactly the same detail that we got before. So right there is I am Jenkins. Echo the current date is Tuesday June, and you see. So yeah, that's a little bit it about our create a new file stuff. Maybe I'm gonna execute it once again, and you're gonna see that the time gonna show up different. But I'm just gonna show you right now that you can select a job that you have executed before and just modify the description if you want and build it once again, and you're gonna have the same output. Okay, but maybe only the date comment gonna be different right now because the time is not the same. We have a couple seconds that have been added. As you can see, we have 5, 12, 38 right now. That wasn't the time that you got before, right? So let's come back on our Jenkins once again. Okay, and we're going to continue to practice on all these useful concepts. You can see that I can change the icon size using the icon S, M, and L on the bottom right there. So let's study a little bit about variable using Jenkins. Okay, so right now I am on my Alma Linux server, and I'm going to show you if I define name equal to Yannick and I run the echo $sign name, you see that I have Yannick, right? So is this concept that you're going to use to develop a lot of stuff right now on our Jenkins server. I can do the same for echo hello $sign name, current date and time is. So I combine the date comment now and the name comment. So it's just awesome. If it's too basic, all this stuff, I'm sorry about that, but I want you to revisit all this couple stuff because yeah, we're gonna use Linux as language to proceed with most of our job pretty soon. So yeah, bash particularly, that's why I'm trying to walk you through once again. So echo hello $sign name, current date and time is date. So I'm gonna define my variable name once again here and save, build it, and you're gonna see that you're gonna have exactly the same output that you got on our server, on our command line previously. You see, hello Yannick. Okay, so that's a little bit it. Right now I'm gonna use the redirect command in another example. So I'm gonna use it to redirect the output of my echo command in the file name found info, in the file name info. Okay, so I'm gonna execute it. I need the space right there, and if I list, you can see that I have info right there. Okay, I am on my Alma Linux server. Okay, and when I cat info, you can see that I have redirected the output of my command inside. So we're gonna do the same on our Jenkins user interface site right now. So you're gonna try to understand how it's working over there. So I'm just gonna copy this and move from my UI interface, my UI on Jenkins. I'm gonna modify my job and just delete everything and paste this one. Okay, so name now is Tupac. Okay, and we are inside our Jenkins server now. Okay, so when I build it and I come back on my console output, you can see that everything executed with success. So let's come back on our server. Right there, we are not inside our Alma Linux server, so I need to run docker ps in order to get the the container ID, logging inside my container using the docker exec command -it. BCA is the three first letter or the three first element of my container ID. You can use also the three first element, and inside it you can see that you have that info. And when I'm gonna cut that info, you're gonna see that you have Tupac right now. Hello Tupac, current date and time is Tuesday, June. So it's just awesome, guys. I just want to walk you through around a couple useful comment using bash that can be helpful for you. When I move inside Jenkins data right now, and at least you can see that you have exactly everything that we had on our Jenkins home on our previous detail. We have exactly the same detail, right? So let's move forward right now with bash scripting. I'm going to log in inside my Docker container once again, and I'm going to try to run the vim command, and you're going to see that it's not going to work. But I need to create my file if I want to have a script to execute, right? But it's not going to work because Vim editor is not installed by default in our Docker container, and I'm not sure that I have everything that I need in order to be able to install it, since it's a Jenkins server that developer has set up. I didn't read a lot about it, so I'm going to move back on my Alma Linux. I'm just going to create my bash my script file here, and after created them, I'm just going to copy them inside my server using the Docker CP copy, the Docker CP command. Sorry. So let's create our vim hello world .sh. The first line on our script is # exclamation slide bin slide bash. Okay, I've talked a lot about this in my bash scripting series. So let's watch that bash script series if you want to learn more about bash scripting stuff and so on. So I just paste echo hello world right there, and if you execute it, you should have the output hello world. Normally to execute is / the name of the file. We don't have permission to execute it. You need to ask to add the permission using the command chmod +x, the name of the file, which is hello world.sh. So that's it. Once we did that, you can execute it. You have hello world. Okay. So we're gonna do the same. On our Jenkins site, but before that, we need to copy it. Okay, we need to copy it. We need to copy it, but let's define some argument first. Okay, so echo hello world. I got the full episode on argument on this channel as well. You can see on my screen. I'm gonna provide the link in comment if you want. So I'm gonna say I love $1, which is my first argument, and $2, which is going to be my next argument. And I'm gonna save my file, and right there I'm just gonna say I'm gonna execute it once again and provide my first argument cars and second one girls. So you're gonna see I'm gonna have hello world. Oh, there's an error. I forgot to use the echo command in front of my line 4. So I'm going to come back inside my script and correct it quickly. I should add hello echo I love $1 and $2. You can use the set NU in order to see the line of your Vim editor. So cars, girls, let's go. Hello world, I love cars and girls. It's just awesome. So when I'm doing docker ps now, I'm going to use the docker cp command in order to copy that script inside my docker container. So I'm just going to make docker cp hello world.sh, which is our file. I'm going to copy the name of my Docker container, which is Jenkins, and right there I'm just going to provide the directory or the path where I want my script to be dropped. So I'm going to put it in the temporary directory, which is the best directory for that. Successfully copy it, 2.04 kilobyte to Jenkins. So right now I'm going to log in my Docker container and cd that directory and list, and you're going to see that we have it showing up, hello world.sh. Awesome. So I can execute it right there if I want, or I can just move on my Jenkins UI interface directly in order to execute it. But let's do it first here. You see, hello world. I didn't provide the argument, so I'm going to provide as argument now arch and peace. Hello world, I love arch and peace. Awesome. So that's a little bit it. Right now we need to practice it on our Jenkins UI site. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Pre-run directory showing up that we are really in our temp, okay, but it's not useful. Let's move forward on our user interface right now. So I'm gonna click on this one and configure in order to modify it. So right there, I'm just gonna provide the full path for my script, okay, and I also provide the argument, cars and girls, and that's it. I'm going to save it and build it. You're going to see that this Jenkins UI is the same that we have on our command line, right? So you see, I love car and girls. So it was able to execute it using the UI interface as well, because it's the same server. Just we have the user interface right there, and we have the command line on the other side. So it's just awesome, guys. We're gonna move on the next practice right now. So let's come back on our Jenkins, click on our job and click on configure in order to modify it. Right now we're going to experiment something else about variable with UI. Okay, we're going to use on this tape, this project is parameterized. We're going to use parameter. Okay, so for that I want to click on string parameter, and about string parameter we're just going to provide a name, which is name, or we're going to say first name for the name, because we're going to add another parameter after this one, which is going to be last name, and the default value for my first name is twist. I'm going to click on add parameter and create the next parameter, and that next parameter is going to be my last name, string parameter and last name. Default value is going to be Yannick. I don't have to provide a description. I don't really have to do that. So right there in our execute shell, I'm going to change cars with by first name and girl by last name. So I'm introducing you to the basic concept of Jenkins User Interface that are going to be really useful on the next episode. Okay, so right there I'm just going to say $ last name. So this is my two argument right now, and I'm going to click on build with parameter. When we click with build with parameter now, you can see that we have project intro to bash scripting, build require parameter. You can change or you can validate that everything is good. So we're just going to say build and everything going to work. So now you can see it's not build now anymore, but it's built with parameters, right? And we are going to be able to see our output with everything. Okay, so if I click on console output here, you can see we have hello world, I love twist and Yannick. So it's exactly my first name and last name default that I've provided. It's just awesome, guys. So make sure to understand the concept. That's it. You're going to see the impact of all this in the next episode. Okay, right now I want to introduce you to a new concept, but before that let's change our last name and first name and put the one that we have used before, and you're going to see that right now we have girl and car that going to show up on our console output. After that, I'm going to introduce you for a useful parameter concept as well. So let's come back on our job into to bash scripting, and I'm going to add another parameter now, which is going to be choice parameter. So choice parameter is a third option that we're going to have here to choose, and I'm going to call it nickname. Okay, and choices, I'm going to provide 3 choices. Okay, and you're going to see how it's going to work. Okay, once I've done, I'm going to click on save. Oh, before to click on save, we have to change here. We're going to add that nickname parameter. Okay, and save. So when I come here, you can see that on nickname I have 3 options to choose, right? So you can choose what we want, but we don't have the third parameter on our script yet, so I'm going to need to create that third parameter first in order to make everything work successfully. Okay, because if I'm running right there, you can see that I have only 1 and 2. I need the third parameter because I just have 1 and 2 right now. I can try to execute on my UI Jenkins steps page. You're going to see that it's not going to work successfully because I don't have that third argument. Let's try first. Let's give a shot and see. You see, I love girl and car. That's it. You couldn't have the third argument, which is array, right? So we need to modify our script in order to get this one work. So I'm going to add a third argument using the vim command. So I'm going to come back on my Alma Linux server quickly, and I'm going to do that modification and use the docker cp command in order to copy the update file on my Docker container server. So you're just going to use the vim command, vim hello world.sh, and I'm going to say I love $1, $2, and $3. That's it. So that's what I'm going to do now. You have to press the insert key first, I. Okay, so let's save that quickly. You save it using the :WQ exclamation sign, and come back on our Jenkins UI. Okay, we still have our three choices. Okay, I'm gonna copy this using the docker cp command, exactly as I said before. So normally that one gonna replace the one that is existing on the current directory. So it's that one that's gonna be used by Jenkins server. So build with parameter, choose Ali, build now, and output. You can see everything was good now. We have I love girl, cars, and Ali. So it's just awesome. I hope that you understand how all this stuff work. Okay. It's not only this option that you have as basic. You can also explore how we use, for example, condition the condition parameter with boolean parameter. Okay, so in this case you can set up you can coach the cars in order to suppose it true, or that is depend of you. You can provide also a name here, set by default that is true. I can say, for example, final here, but it's not gonna be really useful. I think that I already share with you the basic useful stuff that you need to know. So I will invite you to click to like this video if you are learning something new. Make sure to subscribe if you are not a subscriber yet, because the next episode going to be huge and you are going to learn a lot of good stuff. Thank you for watching until the end, and see you on the next video. Bye.